We start with an alert this hour regarding oil and the markets on this final trading day of the week. I'm Tyler Matheson.
And I'm Maria Bartiromo. Good afternoon. Take a look at oil right now. That is what is behind a rally for stock prices. Oil below $50 a barrel, now at $49.20. That is a 5% sell-off in the price of crude today as we approach the final hour of trading. Oil down $2.57 a barrel, and stocks are up. Take a look at the markets. NASDAQ and Dow Industrials doing very well. The Dow Industrials just off the highs of the afternoon with a gain of 93 points, nearly 1% higher on the Dow, and the NASDAQ also higher by 2/3%. 12 3/4 points higher at 1916. Check the S&P 500. It too having a good day, up 10 points just off the highs, 1% at 1152.
Really a jump in just the past hour for the equity markets. For more on oil's sudden and dramatic decline, our energy reporter Melissa Francis is live at the New York Merc. Melissa.
Tyler, it has been this non-stop battle between what makes sense, the fundamentals of this situation, the fact that we got data this week that shows that we have a good supply of crude, we have a good supply of gasoline. It's a battle between that and the irresistible urge to buy below 50. Putting pressure on all of that was the expiration this month, at the end of the month, of the gasoline contract, heating oil, and also propane. And you can see how traders decided to close out the week. Gasoline traded lower as well, following crude. It's now down 3.5% on the day. Crude oil down 4% today. It is now down 13% since its peak in April. This is the first time that it's closed below $50 in 2 months. What a way to end a week. Tyler, back to you.
All right, Melissa, thanks very much. Now let's go from oil right to where those oil trades are having a dramatic effect as well. Leslie LaRoche is at the NASDAQ market site. Bob Pisani standing by on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Bob, you go ahead.
And we did see a rally here, but Tyler, there may be some other factors at work besides oil here. Remember, we are at the end of the month, and you do get some gyrations around that, and these gyrations would make some sense if you understand the trend. So let's take a look at the markets in the last hour. We do have a late day rally. It's a modest rally, but it's quite noticeable here on two factors. Number one, what you heard from Melissa, as oil broke important support around the $50 range. But secondly, we are at the end of the month, and that can have a very important influence. Why is that? You need to look at the trend on the month. The trend on the month, stocks are down, treasuries are up. Now, what would you do if you were a major market player and you had to rebalance your portfolio at the end of every month here? Well, some who have to monthly rebalance it are now facing a situation where they're going to have to buy S&Ps to rebalance, and they're going to have to sell treasuries. They would sell the treasuries first and then buy the S&Ps. That's exactly what's happened here late in the day. If you'll notice, the treasuries moved down, and as the treasuries were moving down, the S&P futures moved up. As you can see there, we don't have the treasuries up, but you see treasuries were moving to the downside. So this smells a lot, and I hear is very much related to oil and a rebalancing going on for the end of the month. Let's go over to Leslie. She's standing by at the NASDAQ.
Thank you very much, Robert. We do have a very solid uplift in the markets here at the NASDAQ heading into the last hour of trading for the month. The NASDAQ up 11 points. I do want to point out that we are rebounding off of new intraday lows set for the NASDAQ, new intraday lows for the year set at the NASDAQ below the 1900 level. I am hearing oil as one reason for the pop, but also I want to talk very quickly about the S&P 500 because one trader pointing to me to Frank Barbera's technical comments coming out this afternoon saying a stock market bottom in place because it looks like the S&P 500 has completed a W-type bottom. Everything a technician could ask for in the way of a market bottom. And so he sees a very powerful stock market rally ahead. So we'll keep watch on that. We are watching Microsoft have a very solid session as we got the first peek into their 2006 expectations, and they do see, despite a mixed enterprise software environment, expect increased revenue growth for fiscal 2006. So that's a good rally for Microsoft. This is a bit of a problem. This is the number 2 chip equipment company out there, KLA-Tencor, behind Applied Materials, and KLA-Tencor guiding Q4 below consensus, citing short-term view being uncertain. So mixed picture in chip and chip equipment. Let's finish out with a quick look at April techs, because it is a mixed picture, although actually it's only mixed for Intel. It's unchanged. The rest, we've seen fairly substantial declines in some of the top names in technology: Amazon, Dell, Apple, and eBay, all substantially lower by April. Maybe a bit of a turnaround in the last couple of minutes of trade, but probably not enough to change those statistics by much. Maria, right now we're up by 9 points on the NASDAQ. Back to you.
All right, I'll take it back. Leslie, thanks very much. What an interesting week it has been for equities and for oil, down 11% the June contract on oil. That's a very significant slide. Meanwhile, equities up in this last hour. Let's check now on the stocks that are moving in this final hour of the trading day. Dylan Radigan in for Joe Kernan. Dylan?
And good afternoon to you, Tyler. A good one for the bulls in a number of sectors today. The paper stocks doing very well as the folks over at Franklin Mutual looking to make a move on Weyerhaeuser. There have been a lot of option activity